She hasn't said it out loud, but something's changing. The way she looks at you. The way she lingers. Most men miss these subtle signals, but once you see them, you'll never unsee them. Stick around, because sign number 3 is the one that almost no one talks about. And if you're serious about connection, hit subscribe. This one's for you. Sign 1. Words become meaningful bridges. In the earliest stages of any romantic relationship, conversation tends to revolve around surface-level topics, shared interests, movies, hobbies, and lighthearted banter. But when a woman begins to feel emotionally safe and increasingly drawn to someone, her communication changes in both tone and depth. This shift is one of the most telling signs that she's becoming open to deeper intimacy, even if no physical boundary has been crossed yet. When a woman begins to engage in more meaningful conversations, it is often a signal that she's starting to bridge emotional space between you. She may start to talk about past experiences, values, struggles, or family history. These aren't just words, they're invitations. When a woman opens up in this way, she's testing emotional compatibility and revealing vulnerability, which, for many, is a significant step toward intimacy. The key for men is not just to hear these words, but to listen deeply. True emotional presence, asking thoughtful follow-ups, giving undivided attention, and respecting what is shared, strengthens the bond and signals safety. When a woman feels that her thoughts are not just being tolerated but cherished, it fosters a foundation of trust. Women also tend to subtly test how a man responds to discomfort or depth. For instance, she might share a painful experience or something she once felt ashamed of. If your response is grounded, respectful, and accepting, that can deepen her comfort and signal that she can be fully herself around you. This is not manipulation, it's emotional calibration. Moreover, this emotional openness is not always verbal. Some women begin expressing themselves more openly through writing, texts that are longer, more affectionate, or more reflective. These are not casual gestures, they are emotional bids for connection, and responding with similar openness creates a beautiful reciprocity. As conversations deepen, you may also notice a shift in timing. Late-night calls, longer voice notes, or messages about topics that matter. These reflect that you are becoming part of her inner circle. And that emotional inner circle is often the precursor to deeper physical closeness. Remember, intimacy is not built in bold declarations but in 100 quiet moments. When a woman begins using words to connect rather than merely communicate, she is laying the emotional groundwork for intimacy. Sign 2. Touch gains new meaning. Touch is one of the oldest forms of human communication, long before spoken language. In relationships, it can say what words often fail to: comfort, desire, curiosity, safety. When a woman is feeling emotionally close and beginning to open up to intimacy, the nature of her physical contact subtly but unmistakably changes. At first, physical gestures might be reserved and polite, a friendly pat on the back, a playful nudge, or a casual high five. But when comfort grows and emotional connection builds, so does the meaningfulness behind physical contact. These touches are no longer incidental, they're intentional and connective. You might notice her brushing lint off your shirt or fixing your collar. Maybe she places her hand lightly on your arm while talking. Perhaps she leans in just a bit closer than before, allowing her shoulder to brush yours without pulling away. These are small, yet deeply telling signs. They're her way of saying, "I feel safe with you," and "I'm open to you." But it's important to clarify something. These signals are not consent in themselves. They are simply signs of emotional readiness. Respecting these boundaries is crucial. A man who reads these signs but still moves too quickly risks breaking the delicate thread of trust she's beginning to offer. Women often experience touch emotionally, not just physically. A lingering hug may be her way of inviting you to pause, to share a moment of stillness. If she rests her head on your shoulder or initiates hand-holding, it's not just about affection, it's symbolic of surrendering fear, of letting someone in. It's also worth noting that the timing of physical touch matters. Often, these signs come after consistent emotional investment. If a woman feels genuinely seen, respected, and emotionally connected, she's more likely to allow that physical connection to mirror the closeness already forming in her heart. A traditional value that's often forgotten today is reverence for a woman's comfort. If a man responds to these signs with patience and gentleness, matching her pace rather than rushing ahead, he earns not just her attention, but her trust and respect. In summary, when touch becomes intentional, gentle, and emotionally grounded, it's one of the clearest ways a woman says, "I'm ready to grow closer." Sign 3. Actions speak consistently softly. A woman's readiness for intimacy is often spoken not in words or touch, but in consistent, thoughtful action. Unlike overt declarations, these actions are subtle, regular, and rooted in genuine care. They're easy to miss if you're only looking for grand gestures, but if you're paying attention, they're the most sincere signals of all. When a woman starts remembering the small details about you, the way you take your coffee, the shirt you love, or the childhood story you shared once, that's not random. She's storing these details because you matter. Emotional intimacy often starts with thoughtful attentiveness. It shows she's thinking about you when you're not around, that she wants to bring you small joys. This also appears in the way she offers support. She may begin checking in on your well-being more often, offering encouragement during stressful times, or going out of her way to do something that lightens your load. These aren't just kind acts. They are love in motion. Another sign? She includes you in her world. She starts inviting you to family gatherings, casual outings, or introduces you to close friends. This is a deep signal of trust and emotional investment. She's not only allowing you into her routine but into her life narrative, her memories, her people, her sacred spaces. Time is another indicator. A woman who's ready for deeper connection will start making time, not just giving it. She will prioritize moments with you, not just when it's convenient, but when it's meaningful. This may come in the form of scheduling dates around your availability or simply choosing to spend quiet time together, even without a grand plan. The most overlooked signal, however, is emotional patience. A woman who is ready for intimacy often shows a greater willingness to work through misunderstandings, stay in dialogue, and give grace. That's because she sees the relationship not as a fleeting moment, but as a growing bond worthy of effort. In our culture of instant gratification, it's easy to overlook these slower, quieter signals. But they're often more powerful than anything spoken or physical. They reflect not just attraction, but intention, the willingness to build something meaningful. So when her actions are consistent, thoughtful, and emotionally rooted, understand that this is her way of saying, "I trust you. I choose you. I'm opening up." Conclusion. Real intimacy isn't built in a moment. It's revealed in quiet actions, in soft words, and in the space between two people learning to trust. If you've seen these signs in your own life, it might mean she's ready for something deeper, but only if you are, too. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who values real connection. More timeless relationship insights are just one click away.